Advocate today. I'm LaPortia. Today we're diving into a few notable headlines that you all can't get enough of from our digital magazine properties. The kiss seen around the world at the Oscars, an update regarding Queer Eye's casting. On our political side, we'll be diving into the need to know news from the State of the Union address. We had a front row seat and more online views featuring libs of TikTok, okay? Joining me to discuss all of these topics today are Christopher Wiggins and Bernardo Sin. What's up, y'all?
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, so Christopher, let's start with you. You had a front row seat to the historic State of the Union. How was it?
You know, I have to say the State of the Union, being there in the room, not only is it a privilege, obviously, but it's incredibly interesting, especially from the perspective of journalists there, because you're looking out at the audience the entire time. And so while the president was speaking, or even before the president spoke, I had the opportunity to watch George Santos holding courts in the middle of the chamber, along with Lauren Boebert, in Marjorie Taylor Greene donning her white T-shirt and red blazer and MAGA hat that she put on once the president actually made it into the chamber. So all in all, you know, aside from the historic nature of President Biden's speech and him proving that he is vital, he has vitality and vigor, and is able to give not only a good speech, but that he's there mentally and fit, it was great to see the sideshow that was also going on. And I do have to say, one striking moment was observing the Democratic women of the House who are all dressed in white. And so as you're looking out onto the sea of people who were in attendance, it was really quite striking that there was this sea of white in as far as the fashion that was being sported there at the State of the Union.
Now, Christopher, do you know why they were wearing white? Did they put something out, a statement out?
Yeah, so they were wearing white in solidarity with women's rights issues. You know, right now, particularly when it comes to bodily autonomy and the abortion issue, that is something that the Democrats are really trying to run on and keep front and center when it comes to the 2024 election and what's at stake as far as people's rights to choose what they're going to do with their own bodies.
You know, it's so crazy to actually have to have this conversation and for these women to actually have to wear white, because it's like, are we serious? Like, can this really be real life? And as a woman, I feel like I definitely have a right, as a woman and as a journalist, to say that. So did you see any of the notorious anti-LGBTQIA bashes, like you know who Green, Chad?
Yeah, so as I said, I saw Marjorie Taylor Greene, I saw George Santos, I saw, you know, all of the Republicans who one thinks of when one thinks of transphobic and homophobic comments, either online or in the federal government. So, you know, Marjorie Taylor Greene was actually relatively disruptive. She tried to interrupt the president on several occasions, so much so that people in the chamber were actually shushing her audibly, consistently throughout the entire speech. So that's something I really took notice of, because I think on the television broadcast, it may have come across that once or twice she interrupted, but she really was kind of a chatty Cathy and couldn't shut up throughout the president's speech.
I mean, we all know why. It's because she wants attention. Another thing that caught a lot of people attention, Bernardo, is this kiss. I heard we interviewed Scott for Out. Now, give me the deets. Tell me about it, because I know that you know.
So the full tea is that last summer of 2023, we had an Out cover with the LGBTQ stars of the Barbie movie, Scott Evans, Hari Nef, Alexandra Shipp, and they were representing the Barbie movie, and it was an awesome cover that we did for Out. And I interviewed Scott Evans personally, but the strike started right after that cover drop. So actually, Scott was not able to promote this huge opportunity of being in Barbie throughout the strike. So then it felt like a full circle moment when we run into Scott. Rafi was in the red carpet representing Out, and Scott was there walking the red carpet representing Barbie. And we got to speak with Scott and, talk about Barbie. And now he's allowed to talk about the project. And it was just a very exciting moment for him to be at the Oscars. He said that it was his first time attending or walking the Oscars red carpet. He's famously Chris Evans' brother. And I think Chris has taken him to some award shows, but I'm not sure about the Oscars, and I think he meant his first time going by himself. So that was very exciting. He was very excited. And then we're surprised by him in the performance. Like, we did not know that at all.
Yeah.
And it's a great performance, hilarious performance of I'm Just Ken. And at one point, Ryan points to Scott, and Scott does like a pirouette and kisses Ryan Gosling on the cheek. And I don't know, we all just felt represented. He kissed Ryan Gosling on the cheek.
That is so crazy. So one, I did not know he was Chris Evans' brother. Okay. Because, I don't know if people know this, from my understanding, Chris loves a little swirl, from my understanding and stuff like that. So I am a fan of Chris Evans. So tell me about his involvement in the I'm Just Ken recording.
Yeah, so in the number in the movie, all the Kens are in the dancing number. Scott is one of the dancers in the background with Simu Liu, with the other co-stars like Nkuti Gatwa. But we did not expect, first of all, we did not know if Ryan was going to perform, because famously he did not want to perform at the Oscars at first. But then it was decided Ryan would perform, but we had no idea the other Kens would be in the background. But they were. It was reminiscent of the scene in the movie. And yeah, Nkuti Gatwa, who's the new Doctor Who, who's also now come out as gay. He was also there. He was also dancing with the other Kens. And yeah, Scott just gets enveloped by Ryan Gosling, like in his arms, and kisses Ryan in the cheek. Yeah. And it's hilarious. It's hilarious.
I think it was a good performance. I can understand some of the criticism, not from the kiss, but from the fact that, that Barbie scene where like Issa Rae is performing and Margot is performing, that's just like a really powerful scene in the movie. And for then, the director not to be nominated and all of that stuff, I do wish they would have had more women. It was definitely Oscar so not with the women this year for sure. All right, so Christopher, we have less than 2 minutes. So there's been an online feud going on between Pete Buttigieg's husband, Chasten, and the woman who runs the anti-LGBTQIA Libs of TikTok. You tell me about this Libs of TikTok all the time. What's going on, Chris? This time.
So Haya Reichek, who runs the Libs of TikTok account, was recently appointed to a library board in Oklahoma, where she is supposed to be consulting on what books are appropriate for children in school libraries. But she has no expertise in education, in library science, or in anything other than real estate and online trolling. And so Chasten Buttigieg called her out during an HRC press call to commemorate the 1 month anniversary of Next Benedict Stuff, a transgender teenager who died a day after a fight at a high school in Oklahoma. And so the Libs of TikTok account is being blamed for contributing to an atmosphere that enables bullying, and that is something that Chasten pointed out. And so there's been this tit for tat online by Libs of TikTok quote tweeting a story that we wrote at The Advocate in attacking Chasten Buttigieg for a video that was circulating from a documentary that showed him speaking to a group of children at an Iowa LGBTQ pride camp that the Iowa Republican governor actually praised him for. And it's just been kind of a continuation of attacks against not only Chasten, but against the Secretary of Transportation too. And so it's just been, the vitriol that you'd expect from them.
And, listen, I am not surprised. I feel like anytime you come on to tell me about Libs of TikTok, there is always something insane going on. In literally 30 seconds, Bernardo, can you give me a really quick update on this Queer Eyes casting shade that I heard about real quick?
Well, there's many layers to this, but the latest development is that 10 Friends posted an Instagram video talking about having no involvement in the hiring of Jeremiah Brent to replace Bobby Burke as the expert on interior design on the show. But the big controversy is that when 10 Friends was explaining that in the video, he said, I had no involvement, something to the effect of, I had no involvement with the hiring of Jeremiah Brent or the firing of Bobby Burke. And Bobby was not fired as far as we know. So that word fired and not, my co-star leaving the show, I think that's what's really causing all this scandal, because there's something odd here.
Okay, odd indeed. Listen, Bernardo, Christopher, thank you so much for joining me. We went through a load of topics today, and you all did such a great job. So thank you so much, and I can't wait to see you back.
Thank you.
Thank you.